Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Munioluwa Ogunleye. So in today's video, we're going to be answering the question, who is sponsoring your education? Who is going to be responsible for your education? Or who is going to fund your education? This is one of the questions that's always asked during F1 visa interview, because the visa officer wants to know that if you have the capacity to fund your education and that you will not be a liability to the United States. So that is why this question is always asked. And this is what we're going to be diving into today. Before we proceed any further in this video, please, if you've not subscribed to this YouTube channel, subscribe, like, share, turn your notification bell so that when new videos come up on this channel, notified accordingly. For you to be able to successfully answer this question, who is sponsoring you during your F1 visa interview, there are two tests that you must pass and which must be reflected in the answer you're going to provide to the visa officer. The first one is the test of reliability, and number two is the test of accessibility. What does this test mean? The test of reliability means that this person that is funding you, is he a reliable source? That means that if anything, what may come, can this source still say that he or she is going to sponsor you? And that is the test of reliability. The second test is the test of accessibility. The test of accessibility means that is this fund accessible? So that's why there are certain type of funding that during your F1 visa interview is not accepted. Example is investment. Investment is not a viable source of funding that you can provide for a visa officer during your F1 visa interview. This leads us to the conversation about what we call the pyramid of reliability. The pyramid of reliability means that those that the visa officer will consider most reliable and least reliable. And on the top of this pyramid of reliability is scholarship, graduate assistantship, funding from institutions or companies or government. This is because these are public institutions and have reputation, and so it is a reliable source of funding. After that pyramid is family, mostly your nuclear family, your father, your mother. These are considered like, and your personal funding are considered another next level of reliability. The next ones are either your brothers, your sisters, your grandpa, your grandma. These are because of the close relationship with you. They are the next on the pyramid. The next one is your extended family. These are your uncles, your aunties, your cousins. Next one is companies that will grant you loans, student loans. Before you decide to use a loan company to facilitate your funding for grad school or your education, please make sure that these loan agencies are credible and reliable and they have a reputation of always making funding available before you subscribe to using this particular loan company to fund your education. Those are the upmost part of this pyramid are considered most reliable because of the close nature of their relationship with you. These people have more stake in you, they are more reliable, the fund is more accessible, and this leads us to conversation of accessibility. You must pass the test that is this will this person be able to provide this fund as at when due. This is because I want to be sure that you're not just saying that this person is going to fund your education. It must show that this person has the capacity to fund your education and that when you need this fund, they are getting made available. That is why your bank statement is one of the documents they are going to bring you a visa interview. And also, you notice that there's a period of time where you need to bring that statement. It's not just like 1 month statement, bank statement you bring to your interview. I think it's like 6 months that shows inflow and outflow of funding from that account. What are the do's and don'ts of answering this question? Who is funding you? Number one, be confident in your answer. I have seen people that had funding, graduate assistantship, and did not get their visa. And I've seen people that do not have graduate assistantship or scholarship, but they are going to school through their personal savings, their parents' savings, and got their visa. So, number one, when you're answering your question, who is sponsoring you, make sure you are confident in your answer. Number two, make sure to give a detailed answer to who is funding you. Do not just say that if they ask you who is funding, don't just say my mom or my dad is sponsoring me, or my grandpa is sponsoring me, or my grandma is sponsoring me. In answering this question, you have to talk about the level of proximity you have with the person. What is he or she doing if it's a person that is sponsoring you? Last one is that what is the nature of your relationship with the person that make them want to sponsor you. So if it's your parent that is sponsoring you, that is not really hard to convince the visa officer that your parents can sponsor you because of the nature of parent-child relationship. But when it's already getting to like your grandpa, your uncle, your auntie, your cousins, you have to give detail about who the person is, what the person is doing, what the person is what, and I have to talk about what is the source of the person's income that will show that this person can give you $30,000 without the person feeling it. So your presentation of answering the question who is sponsoring you will determine whether you're going to get your visa or not. How do I answer if it's a loan? If you are if you are going to be funding your education through loan, I think two things that you should expect from the visa officer is that they want to know whether that loan is cover a substantial part of your tuition or is just a supplementary source of funding. So what I mean by that is this loan going to be paying for your full tuition and living expenses, and or is this loan going to cover only like living expenses and not your tuition, or that you've gotten your tuition covered, but you this loan is going to be helping you with your living expenses. Another thing to expect is that the visa officer is going to ask you question on how you plan to repay back this money. You must have an answer that you're going to give the visa officer, making sure that that answer is a convincing answer. How you're going to pay this loan after the completion of your program. What are the repayment plans? Last one is, what about if I'm being sponsored by my uncle and my auntie? Number one of the things you should expect when from the visa officer is going to ask you what is the nature of your relationship with your uncle, and also he or she is going to ask you why will your uncle want to give you 30,000 or $45,000 to pay for your tuition. So this is an example of how to answer the question if you have like a graduate assistantship or a scholarship. This is how to answer the question if you are being sponsored by an extended family like your uncles, your aunties, your cousins. This is how to answer the question who is sponsoring you if your source of funding is going to be a loan. I hope you find all this information very helpful even as you prepare for your F1 visa interview. From me to you, I wish you all the best. Remember this year, take those baby steps because great vision, great wealth, and greatness lie on the premise of small baby steps. Till meet again in our next video, stay blessed and bye bye.